In 2018, National Assessment of Progressive Education conducted a countrywide survey to determine the level of P3 and P6 learners' achievement in numeracy and literacy in English, the relationship between the achievement of learners and gender, school location, school ownership, and district. It was also set out to determine the level of achievement of teachers and PTC tutors in numeracy and literacy in English, and establish the relationship between the P6 learners' achievement and their usage of the school time.
We did that in two subjects of numeracy and literacy, and these are, we call them numeracy and literacy because these are application aspects of mathematics and English, what learners are able to take with them out when they leave schools. So we want to know how much achievement they have.
The senior research officer, NAPE, Juama Joel Kennedy, noted that in the assessment made during the National Assessment of Progressive Education Report of 2023, the 19 districts out of 136 districts accessed had 75% learners who reached to the level of the curriculum, and 10 districts had less than a quarter.
And that is very worrying for this country. And then 107 districts had between 25 and 75, that is in numeracy. In literacy, only 25 districts had at least 75% of their learners reaching where they're supposed to be. We had 26 districts with less than a quarter of their learners, and that is also not good news. And so more effort is needed in those districts, especially where we have less than 25% of the learners reaching. And that is at P3. And then at P6, in numeracy, 16 districts had 75% of their learners reaching where they're supposed to be. 6 districts were rated red, which means they have less than a quarter of their learners. And then 104 districts had between 25 and 75%.
He outlined the factors which had led to the decline of performances in the districts.
Because the supervision, when we studied the supervision of schools, because district education office is supposed to do supervision of schools, we realized that it was not being effectively done. Actually, we found parents' representatives were the ones visiting schools more. And there were people who were going to schools but for other reasons. So I think that has to be strengthened. We also have other factors like the feeding, for example, especially in government schools where parents, I think, are not doing their work. Children go to school on empty stomach, and it is difficult to learn when a child has not eaten anything, and we have also reported on such.
Ebao Joyce, Manager National Assessment Progressing Education, UNAB, highlighted the areas of difficulties faced by the learners at P3 and the P6 level.
Now, in literacy, we have the learners are having difficulties in completing a story, that is a guided composition, where we have a story written and there are gaps for them to fill, but the words to use are also given to them. This is for P3. Now for P6 is using information in a non-continuous text to make inferences. Non-continuous text, we are talking of things like calendar, work schedule, and so on. And using a compound noun in a guided composition. This is the areas of difficulties that we have seen the P6 learners are experiencing.
The National Assessment Progressing Education placed recommendations to the district officials, Ministry of Education, which included guiding the learners to read and understand, mostly in rural areas. NAPE was created in the education system as a result of the Education Policy Review Commission in 1989, realizing the lack of reliable and up-to-date data on the educational indicators.